Hey, what's up, y'all, and welcome to the 119th edition of the Take One Podcast. I am your host, August C. Jones, and we have a lot to get to. Some major subjects, which I'm going to talk a lot about and give my opinion on. Those being just basically everything. I guess you can call this the Disney episode because everything that I'm talking about is revolving around Disney. Besides the movie reviews I'm going to do, because I'm going to talk about the Fox Disney, I ain't going to say merger, but deal with, it's finally finalized and everything is all said and done, etched in stone and all of that stuff. As well as we're going to get into some Avengers theories and stuff that, recently stuff that came out, stuff that's been out, and just my thoughts on the new developments and stuff, I guess you could call it that. And we're going to talk about the new Toy Story 4 trailer, the first official Toy Story trailer that we've seen thus far. And yeah. And like I said, movie reviews later on. But before we get into all that, let's start off with trailer reviews and get to this Toy Story 4 trailer. Now, simply, right off the bat, I love it. I just simply love it. I know a lot of people going into this thinking that, like, okay, Toy Story 3 ended off everything perfectly. Like, there is no way, I ain't gonna say no way, but a lot of people would think that there's no way that they could top it or anything else. And they possibly could be right. Maybe this movie isn't as good as Part 3, or just maybe, I guess you could say, as compared to the movies that we got so far of it, this will probably be low on just the totem pole, but simply, it looks good. It looks really good. It looks like it has heart in everything that Pixar has done so far with their movies. And I'm like, after seeing this trailer, I cannot wait to see what this movie has in store for us. And it has humor in the trailer. You have a new character. I forgot his name, but he's the spork that was up in the first teaser trailer when they're holding hands and going around. And he said, "I'm not a toy." And he starts freaking out. And and that's basically his character. So that was one of the things, is like, where does his character come into play? Like what is he? Like, how does he come in? And we find out that the little girl that owns the toys now, that she created this sport character, and Woody is setting out, being like the leader of the toys. He's setting out to protect it, make sure that nothing happens to this character, or, this spork, this new toy of hers, or whatever, air quotes, toy, and making sure that she's happy. And like, that's his major goal, is to make sure that the toys are okay, but also making sure that their new owner is happy. And thus, this new sport knows his purpose. He knows that he's supposed to get used for consumption, and then after that, thrown in the garbage. So he runs away. Woody goes after him, and he goes on his adventure with trying to get back. And then the other toys are going on their adventure trying to rescue them. So that's essentially what the movie is about. Along the way, Woody runs into Bo Peep, who wasn't present in the third Toy Story film. So everything is revolving around that. And Bo Peep looked like she's not the Bo Peep of what we seen in the first movie, and I believe the second movie, where she's just kind of there. She's the love interest of Woody, and whatever. This movie, she has a lot. It seems she has a bigger role, where she's not just a possible damsel in distress. She has some moves. She has some kung fu type moves, and all this stuff looks crazy. Just this new character looked like he has some really funny points into it when Woody was explaining to him how they're going to get back, and he was like, what? He wasn't really paying attention. Like, he got this googly eye thing going on. It looks pretty funny. And like I said, it looked like it has a lot of heart. It looks like it is going to pull at, your what is it, the heartstrings or whatever. But I mean, and just the way it looked, I've even talked about before, when I think it was the third teaser trailer came out with Woody. With Woody and Bo Peep, and then he got Buzz hanging on the thing at the carnival, how realistic it looked. And I even talked about how the Frozen trailer, how realistic everything looked. I mean, they just keep, raising the bar. Like, Disney is just doing their thing with, like, what they did with Jungle Book, and then now they're doing with Lion King, and then just their progression in making the animated, the digitally animated movies, like Pixar type movies, how they're making them look more crisp and a little bit more realistic and better looking than what they started off with. Because if you look at how the first Toy Story movie looked all the way to just this trailer, it is a vast improvement. And man, yeah, this movie was off the chain. I seriously cannot wait till this movie come out. Trailer was good. I loved it. And yeah. And so with that ends trailer reviews. So let's go ahead and jump into the bread and butter, the movie news. So before I get into the whole Avengers theory, let's go ahead and talk about this deal that came through. Now, as the time that I'm recording this, it is Wednesday, March 20th. I'm more than likely going to release it Thursday. So at the time you're hearing this, it's a day later. But as of today, the Fox deal merger, Disney deal has gone through. Officially, 21st Century Fox is owned by Disney, the big, like, giant that wants to gobble up everything. It owns it thus far. That means everything everything that was like Fox owned Disney or Marvel. I keep about to say Disney. Fox owned Marvel properties are now back at Marvel Studios, to where they can get to working on things. Now, not to get into Avengers stuff already, but what does that mean? That means that Disney Plus is going to be fully loaded. I mean, Disney Plus, they haven't really been advertising it or putting it out there or anything like that. I don't even think we got like a symbol or the logo or how it looks. They haven't really been talking about it. Unless you know about it and you do your own research, you actively go on Google and search it up or whatnot, you won't really like know about it. I don't even think a lot of people know about it, but it is coming out this year, and you can expect to have a lot of stuff on it. As far as like the newer shows, I think a lot of them are still being filmed. I don't know if a lot of them are done at this point, but this is going to be a direct rival for, I ain't gonna say Hulu, I guess you could say, but Disney still owns stock in Hulu. So, that's kind of like, brother and sister, so, but it's going to be direct competition with Amazon and, Amazon Prime and all that stuff, as well as the number one, Netflix. And I'm definitely going to get Disney Plus when they come out, because not only are you, just think about it, not only are you going to get all the Disney movies, which is going to probably be old and new, that means the old, like literally classic movies more than likely are going to be on there, like the old Cinderella, old like Lion King, just stuff even before my time. You're going to find a lot of that stuff on there. Probably a lot of Disney Channel type of programming on there, as well as just the other movies. Like, you're going to have all the Marvel properties on there. You're going to have new Marvel shows. You're going to have Star Wars. And I'm not just talking about the new Star Wars, like the new Lucasfilm starting with episode 7 on to now. But I'm talking about the old Star Wars, because those were Fox properties, like episode 1 through 6. All those are, Fox properties. So now you're going to be able to see those on Disney Plus. I don't know. Like, this is all just the knowledge that I've acquired from this deal. You're going to get a lot of that stuff. And not only just the movies, but the TV shows as well. You're going to have a lot of that. And it's going to be a rich streaming series. Like, you're not going to go in there and just see Marvel. You're going to have 21st Century Fox properties on there. That means that you're more than likely going to have like a certain section to where they're going to have their R-rated stuff that's really kind of like meant for adults and whatnot. And it's exciting. It really is. I'm definitely going to get it. I know a lot of people that I listen to, or just know about this, are definitely going to go and get this, because this seemed like a really, 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 really big thing, and it really is. It really, really, really is. Disney is just doing their thing, and you can see everything that they're trying to do. Like, it's all about making money. The MCU is doing good. Lucasfilm is doing good. Pixar is doing good. Even just Disney by itself with their movies that's just under Disney is doing good. And just with them, consuming all of this Fox goodness and just them just trying to just take over the world. Like everything is just going Disney way. And then not only that, but I brought it to the podcast before. When you look at the slate of movies that Disney have coming out this year, from just the live action remakes of their old classic movies to just the other movies from the MCU, Pixar. Do they got a Pixar movie coming out this year? I don't even think it's a Pixar. I have to look it up. I really have to look it up. But yeah, you got Star Wars coming out this year. This is going to be a billion upon billion dollar Disney, multi-billion dollar Disney year. I mean, just look at it so far. Captain Marvel is on its way to being a billion dollar movie. It's already past 700 million. Wonder Woman tapped out at like 800 and something million. It's almost about to catch Wonder Woman within the second weekend. Within this third weekend, it's probably gonna be them past it. It's doing this thing. Before the end of its runtime, it's going, well, not runtime, but it's like its theatrical run is going to touch 1 billion. I'm not saying that it's gonna do like Black Panther numbers, but it's going to touch 1 billion. I mean, and it's not really no super major movies coming out, except maybe Shazam. But even though with the early screenings, there is still some time, a long ass gap between when Captain Marvel got released all the way to when Shazam gets released. I couldn't even say it. Shit. But you got that long gap, so it has a lot of time to gobble up that stuff. With us coming out this weekend, that may take a little bit away from Captain Marvel, but it's still a totally different demographic. And you're still gonna have a lot of people do it. And it wasn't like a horrible film. It wasn't like a Transformer film where it was just a complete train wreck, but it made a lot of money. Like, no, this is actually a pretty good film, and it made good money. So that's just the beginning of this year. Just the beginning. Just imagine what's gonna happen. And from what it made it seem like, they're gonna keep a division to where the R-rated, adult-orientated films are going to be made. So Deadpool is still going to consume, if they keep their word with it. Deadpool is still going to resume as a R-rated film, and it looks like they're going to just take apart the X-Men. Like, the X-Men are done after Dark Phoenix, and if New Mutants even come out, it's going to be done after like that. That's going to be it of the Fox X-Men movies and everything else. But I mean, more than likely, I'm not entirely sure if they can, but since they got the rights to 21st Century Fox, they may end up keeping the 21st Century Fox thing, the music and all of that stuff, the intro and everything else. They probably may end up keeping it. I don't know the logistics behind it, if they can still use it, or because it's like still associated with Fox. And I know Fox, with them getting rid of it, they want to get rid of that, kind of, how can I put it? Kind of image that it's not portraying the new image that they're going for, So you would think that with them getting rid of it, they would want to be as far away from that type of aspect as possible, with them trying to have this new focus. So more than likely, Disney is going to make a new division and then have it under there, which we're gonna miss the old Fox. And you know how the music go at the beginning of the movies. But I mean, it's exciting for a movie lover. Even if you're a show lover, if you like the shows on Fox, it's exciting. It really is. And I just know that Disney is just gonna do it up. Like, a lot of these properties, I don't know, like, they can continue on. Man, it's exciting to like witness something like this being done. It is truly exciting, truly exciting. But the deal is done. This is something that I myself and a lot of people I know and fans of like the Marvel films, and that's really what sticks out. Let's be honest. I mean, Disney have a lot to basically gain from it. Pixar may have something to gain from it. Of course, Star Wars, as I mentioned before, has something to gain from it. But really, what people are just focused on is what Marvel has to gain from it. And that's essentially what it is. It's like they get the X-Men back, they get the Fantastic Four, they get all the characters, the mutants they can use now. And speaking of mutants, that's a good segue into the Avengers talk, where I'm just going to give out theories and just my thoughts about everything. So everything is shrouded around Avengers Endgame and what it entails. So basically, some word had came out. I talked with my brother, and he had mentioned something, as well as I read an article, funny enough, like a few hours after I got done talking with him, speaking about the same subject. And I'm going to lead off with this, is that what if everything, or majority of everything that we've seen in the Avengers Endgame trailers aren't in the movie? Question. Would you be okay with that? Would you be okay with, the whole thing with Infinity War, with seeing the Hulk in Wakanda, and just the certain scenes in the trailer, certain lines of dialogue not being used for the movie? I know a lot of people, including myself, was kind of like, I guess you could say, thrown off by it. But at this point, it's like, okay, now we made ourselves immune to it, hopefully. But what if everything that we've seen in the trailer isn't true? What if they, to avoid spoilers of the movie and stuff getting out, they just went to incredible lengths, where they did the same thing that they did for Infinity War, where they gave out fake scripts, fake scenes, well, basically just fake scenes and scenes that weren't in the movie. They shot it for the trailer, or maybe just did scenes that will confuse the actors and not knowing what exactly is going to happen. They only given a certain amount of, they're only given what they have to do in that one scene that they're going to shoot for that day. So they're not given a whole script. And then maybe they shoot multiple endings to where it's like they don't know what's going to be used. And what if they went so far as to record scenes and put together whole scenes that were just meant for the trailer, just to give us something? Because what if they didn't have it in their minds to where they were gonna just release a trailer? Because you got to think, they're gonna have to have something, some type of teaser, even for the people that, even if they don't give out no trailer, it's people that's still gonna go buy it just to see what happens. They're gonna be curious as to be like, how is this movie gonna end? What are they gonna do? But you're gonna have a lot of fans that's gonna be disappointed. Like, where's the Avengers trailer? I want to know the title, blah, 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 like how it was before last year. And I'm one of those people that was waiting for the title. I wanted to know what the title was. I wanted to know what the trailer was, certain scenes from it. I want to know what do they have to show us? Show me something, and I guess that was kind of like that one thing. It was tired of just people being like, oh, we need a trailer, we deserve a trailer, So it's kind of like one of those scenarios. But I mean, what if that was just the case, that they gave us something, but it's not truly what is all up in the movie? Like, I myself will be okay with it, because that just let us know that they gave us something, even though a lot of those scenes aren't in the movie, in lines of dialogue and everything else. Even though I do hope certain scenes were, like the scene with Captain Marvel and Thor, I did like it in the last trailer that got dropped, with him like calling over Stormhammer, Stormbreaker, and then him kind of like sitting on it, well, not sitting on it, but like relaxing on it, and him saying that, like, I like this one. Like, I do hope that that's in the trailer. But if it's not, I'll be okay with it. But just think, going into a movie where you think you know what's going to happen and you don't. Everything you've seen was a lie, but at the same time, it's to keep fresh eyes on it. But the only thing that can backfire is that going into the movie like the week of, or the week, when you get advanced screenings of these, a lot of times You're gonna have people that be like, none of these scenes are in the movie. Don't be fooled, and it's like, and that right there is a spoiler. Like, I would love to go into it and not know that any of these is in, not any of like the scenes is in the movie. I would want to know if it's not in the movie. Don't tell me, because I would want to be bamboozled. This is a case where I want to be bamboozled, and to me, that would be genius. That would be genius. That would be something that has never been done in movie history. And in this particular situation, who can disagree with it? It's a movie that has a lot of secrets. You don't want to get out, so you're going to lengths to do it. And if you gotta confuse the actors that's involved, that way only a handful of people know actually how this is going to pan out. If you gotta trick them, you gotta trick us. And by just, putting out scenes that's not actually in the movie, it's like, do it. Like, that to me is some genius marketing if that does come to pass. Which I wouldn't put like this. I wouldn't be surprised. Because a lot of us, we've even said it. I've had discussions with my brother, like, what if, those scenes aren't in the movie? What if all of that isn't in the movie? They just giving us something. And I've said this before, like, what if? And also, like, when you think about it, it kind of makes logical sense. Because what have we seen in the trailer? We have not really seen any action in the trailer. All we seen was majority of just the actors just looking, down, and, just certain little quick scenes that, they could. It won't take a day. It probably would take a day just to shoot majority of like the trailer, and it's like it really wouldn't take that much. And I mean, just really think about what's in the trailers. Like, I even said it. I know a lot of people said it, that like we haven't gotten that boom trailer where it just go flat out, where we see a lot of crazy action, fight scenes, and just blah 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 and all this craziness. We just seen bits and pieces of stuff. You will see like people probably like kind of in action, but not really doing anything. So I mean, it makes perfectly good sense that maybe that's why we haven't seen anything, because those scenes aren't in the trailer. And then going on that logic, if that's true, what if the title that we're given for Endgame, what if that's not even true? What if that was just the title that they just put out there, was like, okay, y'all want a title? We'll give you a title. And we think that it's the real title, but it's not. What if it has a totally different title, and the title is a spoiler to what the movie is entail? Well, what the movie involves. What if? It's a big what if. Like, would you be upset if everything we see, from just the title to just all the scenes in the trailer and lines of dialogue, is not in the movie at all? That's genius if that's true. But I believe that if certain scenes aren't in the movie, at least some of them are going to be in the movie, But like I said, this movie is shrouded in a lot of stuff. We don't know the extent of what Thanos' role is in here, and like I said up in like last podcast, was that we're starting to get a lot more of Thanos as far as the trailer. Like it was like the first trailer, and then we got the new Empire magazine cover with Thanos on the cover, a prominent, him having his own solo cover, and then having him standing over the field looking out into like the distance with like you can see his armor on the scarecrow or whatever, like a good little distance away from him. And it's like, you're not going to put a character like that prominent in a magazine or on a magazine cover if they're only going to have like 5 minutes of screen time in the movie. So Thanos is going to play a prominent role. How big of a role that is, hey, that's any of our guesses. But just because of just how much we've seen him lately, I tend to believe that he plays a major role. I feel like they're going to have a big action set piece, because when you think about it, we haven't really seen. I mean, we have, but we haven't seen Thanos at, really just get down dirty fighting. We've seen him take down the Hulk. We've seen him go against like Guardians of the Galaxy and a couple of the Avengers and Doctor Strange. But he had the gauntlet. So majority of the time he was fighting, but he was using the gauntlet. So we really didn't see a full-fledged, combat scene with Thanos. And to see a scene like that with the OG Avengers, all of them basically just going against Thanos and he just like holding his own, I feel like that would be a awesome set piece. And I feel like that's what we're going to be in for. We're going to see something of that. And to me, that is exciting. That is truly exciting. Now, just go back, because I should have basically connected this with the first thing with the trailers and everything else. But when it comes to this, when will we get a full-length trailer? Let's say that those scenes are in the trailer. When will we get a full-length trailer? And from what I'm hearing is that maybe April 2nd, and maybe that is the day that, tickets go on sale, which I do plan on getting it, because if you guys plan on going to an AMC and you do not have A-list stubs, then, man, I don't know what to tell you. You need to get A-list stubs, especially if you're trying to see this movie and you're trying to go to AMC, get it. Truly get it. It is going to be a huge discount money saver. But when we get a new trailer, and if it is another trailer, will it be that, I guess you could say, boom type of trailer that it shows a lot of crazy action in it? Maybe Thanos, him fighting, him like maybe running at the Hulk, and then the Hulk running at him, and then they about to clash. Kind of like how trailers do. They did it with BVS, where they just going at each other, and then bam, Avengers Endgame, and stuff like that. When will we get that? I feel like that will probably happen sometime soon. I hope that they do the announcement for it, because I don't want to be like Friday where I wake up like a little bit, I think I woke up around 7, 8 or whatever, and I saw the trailer. I just hope that it doesn't be like that. I hope that we get fair warning. That way when that trailer drop, and hopefully if they be like, tickets on sale right now, I could just hop on at them and just buy them tickets and just savor the taste. But I don't know. I feel like we should get a full-length trailer sometime soon. If we don't get another trailer before this movie comes out, I will be perfectly fine with it. I'm not going to be one of those people that are just mad that we haven't got a full like 4-something minute trailer. I wouldn't be like that. I'm going to go see the movie regardless. I'm going to go see it opening weekend. I'm trying to go see it at Navy Pier in the IMAX screen. I already got my plan. I already got that plan. So most definitely, this movie, I just can't speak enough how excited I am. I just can't speak on enough at how crazy excited I truly am about it. But yeah. So and it was just a lot of talk of just the blank spaces in the trailer. Now we've all kind of like witnessed that with Civil War, because if you think about the Civil War trailer, who was missing up in there? Spider-Man. When you look at the trailer and then you look at the real movie, it's a blank spot. I think right next to Black Widow, and I don't forget who else he was in between, but it was Black Widow, Spider-Man, and somebody else. And you can see it that there's a big gap, and they didn't put Spider-Man up in there just not to ruin that scene of whatever. And people were talking about, and this is just months back or whatever, about I think it was the second trailer. No, it was the first trailer. It was one of the Avengers Endgame trailers where they're walking toward the ship that's landing right outside of the Avengers headquarters or the Avengers mansion or whatnot. And you see just kind of like how they spread out. Maybe another character is right there. But I just don't know. I think that's just people's minds going crazy because of the Civil War. and Infinity War trailers, how certain things were missing or how certain things were put in there that wasn't in there. So I think people are just grasping at straws of what possibly could be, or if it is somebody taking out who it possibly could be. But I truly, I really, I don't know. I just don't care for the blank spaces. That's just me. People can speculate on it. I don't really care for it. But also, on top of that, they've had test screenings of this. And from what they've said, the Russos, is that, for one, people did not get up out their seats at all. They were thinking about it, the whole runtime being 3 hours. At right now, it's currently at 3 hours. They may cut it, they may keep it at 3 hours, depending on, what's vital to the movie, or if it needs to be 3 hours, which I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care. I would stay there for a 3 hour movie. The only thing that will be my mortal enemy would be getting something to drink, because I want to have the full experience. I want to have a drink. I want to have a hot dog. I want to consume both foods. But in having a drink, that will result in me having to take a pee, especially if the movie is 3 hours long. And I do not want to leave my seat. I do not want to miss it, because unlike what I did with Infinity War, when that movie came out, I saw it Thursday, opening day. I was able to see the show right after it. With Navy Pier, I doubt if I'm going to be able to do that. I seriously doubt. That's even if I get tickets. If I'm quick enough, hopefully I can get my tickets for my brother, myself, and my nephew. But if I'm not quick enough, I probably might get it somewhere else, and I'm going to have to be quick enough to do that. But that's rough. But a 3 hour movie, I wouldn't mind it at all. I would love for it to be 3 hours, because especially if it's that damn good, most definitely. But getting right back to the whole people did not leave their seats to go pee. They stayed there intently on the movie and everything else, and they even said certain people fainted in the movie because of what happened. And I don't know, when it comes down to it, I would love to believe that. I would love to believe that people fainted. But we hear this stuff from, and this is coming from the people who make the movie. I can sit here and be like, I just recorded a podcast the other day, and I let a couple people hear it, and they said it's the best episode that they've ever heard from any podcaster ever in life. That it is the best episode ever, and all this stuff that people just had to listen to it 2-3 times and stuff like that. I could say that. I could literally get online and say that and write it out and blah, blah, blah. Doesn't mean that it's true. That's just them boasting up. Now, it could ultimately be true. It truly can be true. They could have done something in this movie that nobody has ever even thought of. In all of our conspiracy theories, or I guess you could say speculations, that no one has ever thought of, that when we see it, we're going to be like, that is fucking genius. It could be like that. Or, like I said, it could be just totally fabricated just to get people excited, because, we've all known, Kevin Feige and the Russos to be very truthful. Very truthful, They've never said that, the title of Avengers 4 was not a title that was ever used in the movie. They've never said that before. Or they've never put anything in a trailer that wasn't in the movie. They've never done that. So I can believe that the Russos and Kevin Feige will be truthful and tell us the truth. It's like, at this point, it's like you got to take stuff at face value until we're proven wrong. We can get excited about everything that we see and hear, but we won't know the actual truth until we actually see the movie and, what they've done with it, which I'm excited. I'm truly excited. And there's also just reports about a new villain. and who this new villain could possibly be or whatever. And you can go all down the line. A lot of people will say Galactus. A lot of people will say Ultron, which I'm kind of on a train about Ultron. So that one is not too far-fetched. Kang, I don't really know too much about Kang, but I know that name has been floated out around there. Maybe Doctor Doom. Maybe, I ain't gonna say Doctor Doom because they just got the rights today. So to try and squeeze the character arc of Doctor Doom in there, plus he don't fit in with them. He needs to be introduced with or after, Fantastic Four. He needs to be closely associated with Fantastic Four. But I don't know, like, what if there is a new villain? Who can it be? How major does this villain play a role? Is this movie about, Thanos again? But the Russos then came out and said that Thanos' job is done. His job is done. He set out to wipe out half of all living life in the universe. He went to go collect, he got the gauntlet, went to collect the stones in order to do it. He snapped his fingers and completed his mission. Sat down and took a sigh, took a breath of relief into a sunset at the end of Avengers Infinity War. He completed his job. He did what he did. So that's what got me to believe that he does have a big role in Avengers Endgame, but it's not a major role. Like, I don't think he's going to be the main villain. But maybe if it's not a new villain, maybe it's just revolving around them trying to undo or, just fix what Thanos did. And with what we know so far, they're going to undo it somehow, some way. Maybe just recreate a new gauntlet, collect stones through time, which that is the big thing that we all believe that is going to involve just time travel, and that somebody's going to snap their fingers and bring a lot of them back. Because we already know Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Nick Fury, Falcon, Winter Soldier, more than likely, if not all of them, majority of the Guardians are going to come back. And just a lot of the people that got snapped away are going to come back. Or at least majority of the heroes. Scarlet Witch is one of them. Maybe Loki. Even though he didn't get snapped away with them doing a Loki series. I don't know if that's going to be... I believe it's going to be a prequel. Maybe it's after. I don't know. But we all know that a lot of them will come back. But however they fix it, it's like... Maybe that's just kind of like the story, or maybe there is a new villain. And I'm not too, far away from just really believing that it's Ultron. Because, just think about it. I don't know, I just have a feeling that some part of Ultron is still out there. That Ultron just isn't dead. Maybe he stored, a piece of him away in the dark web, and then he's going to reemerge. And be maybe this time more sinister than just jokey, I'm a bad guy, this, that. He can be more sophisticated and just more just downright sinister in his stuff. How he was predicted up in the Age of Ultron trailer. Maybe. And maybe he can, I don't know. It just, I don't know, it's a lot of, it's a lot of names that you could throw out that could possibly be right, could possibly be wrong. We just simply don't know. But that's one of the rumors or reports, however you want to view it, is out there that there is a new villain. But just simply, how would it end? How will this movie end? I have my theories, but at this point, we know so little, and with the thing of the scenes in the trailers possibly not being real, or scenes in the movie, it's possible. It's hard to place what will happen in this movie. What I truly think is that they're gonna do time travel. They're gonna get the stones. They're gonna undo the snap and bring a lot of people back. I know a lot of people have their idea of who is going to kill Thanos. I think that is Iron Man. because you've set up his character. Even though a lot of people might look at Thor and, just because he had more of an emotional, I guess you could say, I mean, everybody had an emotional part of this movie, from just Star-Lord and him losing Gamora, and just Spider-Man with the whole, I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark, I don't want to go, that type of stuff. And Thor just being like, he's lost everything. Thanos, basically, he killed his brother right in front of him, and he couldn't do anything about it. Killed half of the people that he saved off of Asgard, and more than likely, when he snapped his fingers, probably killed majority or at least half of the people that escaped with Valkyrie. It's like he's lost a lot, and then he lost the war he lost the Infinity War. And I guess more than likely you would say that he blames himself because he didn't do what Thanos said he should have done. He should have went for the head. He had the kill shot, and instead of just literally, he could have just simply just snapped his neck or just gone for not even just the head but the hand. He could have whatever, but you would think that they kind of set it up to where Thor is possibly going to kill him. I think he would probably be right below Iron Man. I know a lot of people throw out the Hulk, but I don't think so. I think that they setting it up for Hulk to have a comeback to where he does go at Thanos, but he does get the upper hand this time, and he get to smash Thanos and just put him down. I don't think that it's going to be to where he kills him. Iron Man, they've been setting up ever since the first Avengers movie, from everything that happened up there, him almost dying trying to save the world from the Satiri army, and just Thanos' forces and everything else. And ever since then, that's where his mind has been. Even the Age of Ultron, just kind of go from there. I mean, you can kind of count Iron Man 3, because he was suffering from PTSD from the events of the Avengers movie, and then it carried on to Age of Ultron. With him, that's the reason why he created Ultron, and him just having a vision that Scarlet Witch gave him with his nightmare and what he doesn't want to happen, and him failing to save the Earth, and even just his friends, that was a hard setup. And then going from there all the way to Civil War, with the reason why he was backed up with the with the government, was that he knew that he needed to protect the world somehow, and maybe this was the better way, and more than likely that was what drove him. And then even him taking Spider-Man in as under his wing and trying to teach him how to be a hero, everything just kind of changed him. It's like he wants to feel like he made a difference. And then going to Infinity War, with him knowing that this is it. This is the guy that everything just comes down to. This is the guy that they need to stop in order to save the Earth. This is his purpose. And then to know that he wasn't able to stop this guy, that he almost died trying, and then lost Spider-Man, a kid that he grown a connection to, know that he failed his mission. And just with this movie, that if the trailer is true, with him stuck out in space and all that stuff, and loss of food and water, and maybe with no hope of getting home, almost about to die after he lost, man, that's a great case for setting up a character, a singular, I guess you could say, main character of the MCU, for the triumphant win over evil. Now, who's going to debate with me? I just set up something that probably a lot of people have not even truly thought of. I know a lot of people have, but a lot of y'all that just out there want Thor or Captain America to do it, or maybe don't. I know a lot of people don't want Captain Marvel to do it, but that's something to ponder on. They've set Iron Man up from the first Avengers movie on to be this person that's more than likely going to risk his life to save everything else. That to me, yeah, hands down, Iron Man is going to be the person to save everything. That's just what I think. I may be true. I may be right, or I may be wrong. I don't know. Maybe it may be Thor, because he did say you were going to die for that, but he didn't say he was going to kill him for that. He just said that he was going to die for that. So that can mean that he doesn't have to kill him. So hey, I mean that's just my my prediction. But also going into this end credits, what are we going to see in the end credits? As of right now, I know I've heard that like right now they're probably not going to do anything alluding to the X-Men or anything like that, but they have enough time. They don't have to do anything major. They don't even have to get a actor to portray Wolverine. They don't have to get an actor to portray a certain X-Men or whatever. They literally can just shoot something that reference maybe like the Fantastic Four, a villain that they couldn't use before, maybe just reference X-Men, maybe Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters or something. However, let's just say like the X-Men is included into this, whether they change the story, change the timeline, or something of that nature. All they had to do was do a reference, a scene that probably would just take a day to shoot. You know, they shot the Swarmer scene at the end of the first Avengers, at the end credit scene. They shot that the day of the premiere, which that movie came out that Thursday. So they shot that scene, even though that scene wasn't like involving anything, any lines of dialogue. It just was them sitting in the store that got damaged, but was, you know, good enough to where they could eat shawarma, just sitting at the table and just, you know, man, after this battle, we're hungry. You know, they can do something like that. They have enough time right now. This deal is already in, so you can literally put, I ain't gonna say shoehorn, because more than likely they've already got a plan for what they're going to do, and that more than likely is going to be one of the end credit scenes, if there are two. There may not be a post and end credit scene. If there is just a post scene or just an end credit scene, it probably may end up referencing mutants or just the Fantastic Four or something of that nature, or the next maybe big villain that the Avengers, or even I don't know if they're gonna continue with the Avengers, but maybe the next big villain that another group fights. You know, I don't know, but I feel like it's going to allude to some new characters that they have in their possession now, and that's what I believe. I don't know who or what, a villain or, you know, hero, but I feel like that's what it's gonna be. Now, get into life after Endgame. That's harder to predict because we still haven't gotten the slate for like Endgame or anything. Like we don't know. Like the only movie that we know that are coming out with the MCU is, as far as, I mean, stuff has been put officially, but not officially. So as of right now, is Endgame and Far From Home. After that, they are going to do, like, officially, they're going to do a Black Panther 2 and a Doctor Strange 2 and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And then Black Widow is on the table, as well as Eternals. And that's just a few movies, a handful of movies upon other movies that are going to be released. Now, I believe D23 is premiering this year. They're going to have D23 as well as Comic-Con. Now, if they choose to skip Comic-Con, you just have everything at D23, they're probably going to release the new slate. That's what they're probably going to do. Probably going to have all these movies in line, and they're going to just announce these movies that I just mentioned are going to come out. But we're going to have this new character. We're going to have X-Men. We're going to have Fantastic Four. We're going to have Doctor Doom. We're going to have this movie, that movie, and all these movies. So I feel like if not at D23, they're more than likely going to do it at Comic-Con. But if they going to have D23 this year, they're going to have everything there. Everything Disney. They're not going to be at Comic-Con. But I just don't know. I just don't have really too much of a, you know, opinion on life after Endgame. I believe that everything is going to go somewhat kind of back to normal. And Spider-Man Far From Home is going to be the one to lead off that. Who the Avengers are going to consist of? Don't know. Maybe Black Widow separates herself from the Avengers and she's not an Avenger no more. Maybe Cap dies as well as Tony Stark ends up dying in this movie. I feel like they're going to have some type of like consequences. Like people are going to have to legitimately die and that's it. And if, Captain America dies, Iron Man dies, let's say Hawkeye dies, and you still got like Thor, Hulk and all that stuff. I feel like that would probably be cool. And let's say like Black Widow, she separates herself from there. And let's say that, maybe with the new Avengers, you have Rhodey probably just kind of like behind the scenes. He's retired, but he's behind the scenes giving the order. Maybe he ends up working for S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever. And, he's in charge of the Avengers, He's the one that is keeping the glue together, but he's not out there in actual combat. Maybe you have Captain Marvel. I ain't gonna say Doctor Strange or Black Panther because I think that they're gonna be their own people. They're just gonna be their own heroes. So maybe Captain Marvel, Spider-Man. I don't know, like whatever other characters they may want to introduce. Maybe let's say Black Widow don't separate herself. Maybe she still is part of the Avengers. And then maybe you have Thor up in there as well and stuff like that. Maybe that's what it's going to be. I don't know. But life after Endgame, I feel is truly going to be different. Truly is going to be different. And I just simply cannot wait for that to be. Man, you just don't know how excited I am for that. But yeah, man, that's really all I got for the Avengers talk. That's really all I got in my notes and whatnot. But I mean, it's a lot to ponder on. I was talking with some guys earlier today at work about, just the new stuff and stuff not being real. And we were just having a good conversation with it. Like, this is a good conversation piece, not going against each other about, what they think is going to happen or anything like that. But, just giving your thoughts and opinions on what you think will happen or what you want to happen, and man, I don't know, I just like it, hey, it's whatever. But let's go ahead and jump off of that and jump into movie reviews. So the first movie on the docket is Captive State, which stars Ashton Sanders and John Goodman. Now, taking place almost a decade after extraterrestrials land on Earth, in Chicago, a rebellion is planning an attack against them as the tensions rises on opposing sides. Those who working for the aliens and those who set out to challenge them. And some of the best things about this movie is that the acting was good. The acting was really good from all the actors. John Goodman, Ashton, Sanders, he did good. You got Vera Farmiga. She's up in there, but she's only up in there for a little bit of time. She does good. And just all the support. Everybody that's surrounding them do like some really, really good acting. And I just love the story and how everything played out. And from just beginning to end. This movie, it's not your typical type of movie. Like you're not gonna go into this and it's not gonna be just one of those big high budgeted movies. Like this film is all the way what I kind of like didn't expect it, kind of, in a sense. It did take a turn, but for the better. It's not an Independence Day type of film. It's a spy film, and it just so happens to involve extraterrestrials. So it's kind of like a sci-fi suspense spy thriller because it has some spy elements where certain people are playing like opposing sides, like both sides or whatnot. And certain people are just trying to like infiltrate certain places and take out certain like aliens and stuff. Like it's actually a pretty good setup for a film, and I just kind of love it. Like the look and just the way it was shot, the tone, the grittiness of it. It's kind of like a post-apocalyptic kind of feel, but not really. It's a semi-realistic alien invasion without all the high spectacles. And it didn't really need all of that, to be honest. The look of the aliens and the use of the CG of them was actually pretty good. Like, because it was a low budget, they used it to where it's like majority of the time you see the aliens is in the nighttime. So it was kind of covering just like the lack of, just budget that they had for making them look good in the daytime. And majority of the times you see them, it really does take place at nighttime, and it makes use of it. If you can't do anything like that's just super duper realistic looking or just high budget looking or whatnot, just kind of manipulate and be creative with what you got. But one of the negative aspects is the display at times of lack of focus, being that it starts off with our main character, just this boy who lost his family due to the like aliens or whatnot. And then certain parts of the movie, it follows other characters just long enough to where you kind of forget about the main character until he finally comes back. And then he's like, oh yeah, he was missing. And just another minor negative that just kind of revolves around the CG is really minor. Just the use of the alien ships. Now, I did talk about how the aliens were used in darkness and how it just kind of like helps, just the look of them, make the CG look better. For the ships, they just didn't do that. It was a couple of scenes where it happened in the daytime where the ships are taking off, and it comes off kind of fake, just compared to the CG used for the other alien creatures at night. But like I said, it's very minor. But in conclusion, Captive State is a really good film, and it is worth checking out. The storytelling and premise makes for a different look on a alien invasion. It's low budget, so it doesn't have all the high budgeted like set pieces that you will probably want, but it does have more of a grounded feel to it, and it has a great story to work with, and that's what makes it enjoyable. I give it an 8. Definitely go check this movie out. And the next movie to review is Nancy Drew and the Hidden Staircase, which stars Sophia Lillis. And this movie is based off the character Nancy Drew, created by Edward Stratemeyer under the pen name of Carolyn Keene. And it's the new adventure of Nancy Drew and how she is recruited to solve a case involving a supposed haunted house to find out whether it's real or not. Now, on the surface and at its core, this movie is simply a movie for a younger audience. Even though it's based off of a character that's even before my time, you can still tell what the demographic is for this movie and who they were going for. But that's not to downgrade it. It is a little fun adventure for younger kids to follow and enjoy. The lead actress, Sophia Lillis, does a great job in her role. And you could tell that she was trying to deliver the best possible character that she possibly could. But everything around it was kind of like a Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, it had that type of vibe. Like, it had elements of that. And the story was really just your typical kid mystery, and even how it resolves itself. And even though I felt like Sophia did a good job in her role, everyone else around her, not so much. Certain characters did, like her auntie, but everybody else, it was just kind of like, they did good for this movie, attracting a certain demographic of kids, or a certain age demographic, and that's simply what it is. But simply put, this felt like a movie that should have gone straight to Nickelodeon or Netflix. It's an okay mystery movie, but let's be real, this is not for adults. But that's okay. That's okay. It really wasn't for me. I checked it out just to see if there was like some type of like something I could get from it. It wasn't bad. I just recognized what it was and just took it for what it was. I give it a 5. I guess that will be fair. And I think that shall be it for this episode. And we'll just go ahead and wrap this up. I'd like to thank you guys for joining me for this long extended episode on just talking about Disney, everything except for the movie reviews. But in any case, like I said, thank you. I hope to catch you guys on the next edition of the Take One Podcast, episode 120. And I will catch you guys then. So peace out. Have a good day. Hey, before you guys leave, make sure you hit that like button as well as that subscribe button. And you see that little bell? Make sure you hit that to turn on your notifications. That way you'll be notified for anything that appears on my channel. Hope to see you guys next time. Peace out.